Hello YouTube, I'm Big Al 1982 and this is the Movie Reviewers 100. This week's theme is Steven Spielberg Week, a director, producer, film lover who just makes amazing film after generation and generation for decades. If you look back through the years, you'll find a Steven Spielberg film that's captured the imagination of adults and children alike. Even films he's been a producer on, and not necessarily been a director, you can tell it's a Spielberg film because it's got his influence and his adventure into that film. This week I will be reviewing one of my favourite Steven Spielberg films, and that is the 1985 release Empire of the Sun. I think a lot of people just think that Spielberg's war film was Saving Private Ryan, but for me this is one of my favourite war films, you may say, and that is Empire of the Sun, starring a young Christian Bale. You can tell it's got the influence of Spielberg in this film, for the sense of adventure in this film and journey. There's a young Christian Bale, and him and his family were quite well off in Japan, and sort of there's a revolution, and basically the country want to get rid of the English Americans out of the country. This is set in World War II, this film, and yeah, it's basically the main story is about the young boy struggling to survive when he gets into in a prisoner of war camp, and it's about his journey to find his parents again. For me, the performance that the young Christian Bale gives in this film, you sort of root for him. He can be a bit annoying at times as his character, but for me, so we didn't know when I watched this back in the 90s when I was a little bit older. I never knew who Christian Bale was, obviously, and what he would go on to do, the great roles he has done. But you could see that he had potential of being a great star, and he did a great performance in this film. For me, any film associated with Steven Spielberg is a film I want to watch. One of my favourite director producers, and recent films over the years I've watched from Spielberg's sort of producing wise, Super 8 when he linked up with J.J. Abrams, and you can see that they had the Spielberg link in there. Very known for his sci-fi film, Spielberg, with Close Encounters of the Third Kind being one classic film. Recently, what I reviewed last week, War of the Worlds, Steven Spielberg directed as well. But I recently watched The Adventures of Tintin, and you can sort of see his links he had with George Lucas's Indiana Jones series as well in that film. And I say, when you see Steven Spielberg's name with a film, it's a film I want to go out and watch. Just to say, amazing storyteller. He puts great action in his films. He spots great potential in young actors and brings them through. Lots of, or I say, you could say that, but then you think of the E.T. situation. Drew Barrymore, who sort of grew up to be quite a regular actor, but so you couldn't say really the same for Henry Thomas, who played Elliot. Sort of come back into the filmmaking, or come back into films I could think of is Gangs of New York. He played a part in now, but to be honest I couldn't remember hardly anything else he's been in. But yeah, the list of films that Steven Spielberg's done just is endless of amazing, great films. To start off with, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T. Yeah, but the little things he's done as well. Obviously, his links with the Goonies, one of my childhood classic films. I love that film. As I said, Emperor of the Sun, a great film. Also his connections with the Back to the Future Back to the Future series, being a producer on there and that. But for for me, just so many great films. I personally like Jurassic Park. All Spielberg's films, he's been either a director or a producer. As I said, he's always had his influence in there. Films like Minority Report, Catch Me If You Can, which I personally like, Saving Private Ryan. Also, films like The Terminal, which wasn't as big a hit as it should have been. I think Dino last hit the nail on the head when you have Catherine Zeta-Jones in your films. The sort of she's sort of like the kryptonite of box office smashes. But for me, Tom Hanks' performance in The Terminal was really great. I say the list goes on; it's endless. Steven Spielberg. I'd be very surprised if not even if there was one person on this planet who didn't know who Steven Spielberg was. And I'm really looking forward this week to seeing people's reviews on any of them films I just mentioned, or some of the other great films that I didn't mention. But I'll put a link below to Steven Spielberg's IMDb page, and follow the link there and check out all the great films. And if there's any of them films you've never seen, Schindler's List, and one I've left off the list, go and check them out. They're all just amazing films. Anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. I've been Big Al 982, and all the best to you.